Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tablelands Regional Council Ordinary Meeting for November. Could I remind everyone to turn your devices off, or at least turn them on to silent, please? Do we have any apologies today? No, thank you. Could I ask everyone to be upstanding, thanks? I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet on today and pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to ask for a minute's silence as we mark the respect for those residents who have passed away during the past month. Thank you. Item 6, councillors. Declaration of any conflicts of interest by councillors or senior council officers. No declarations today. Thank you. Item 7.1. Confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the 31st of October. Could I have a move that those minutes be accepted as a true and accurate record? Councillor Lang moving and Councillor Spanos seconding. Those in favour? Carried 7-0. Thank you. We'll do the business arising of those ones now, please. Were there many matters arising from those, Jackie, that you heard? No. Councillors, any matters arising from the floor from the meeting, ordinary council meeting of the 31st of October? No matters arising, thank you. Item 7.2. Confirmation of the special meeting of 7 November 2024. Can I have a mover that those minutes be accepted as a true and accurate record? Councillor Barty and Councillor Spanos. Those in favour? Thank you. 7-0. Any matters arising from those minutes of the 7th of November? No matters arising. Thank you. Okay, councillors, we've got no deputations today and no mayoral minute. Councillor Hayden.
Mayor, I'd like to move a procedural motion that the order of business be amended to allow an item of business without notice to be dealt with now.
Councillor Hayden's moving a procedural motion. We don't need a seconder. Those in favour? Carried.
Okay.
Thank you.
In accordance with the Councillors' Conduct Tribunal decision of November 15th, 2024, I admit that I engaged in misconduct pursuit in section 150L1C4 and 150E2 EZ2 of the Local Government Act 2009 when having a prescribed conflict of interest in agenda items 12.7 to 12.9 at an ordinary meeting of council on 29th of October 2020. So for 4 years, I have reflected on my behaviour in silence. Nobody can imagine the turmoil and the effects this has had on myself for 4 years. 20 years in local government, and one mistake has cost me my sanity. I'd like to make a formal apology to all involved, and it was inappropriate and fell short of what I expect from myself. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Hayden. We'll now return to our prescribed order of business. We don't need a procedural motion to do that, councillors. We can just go straight back to the agenda. The next item on the agenda is 11.1, which was B. Quadling and A. Styles reconfiguring a lot 1 into 13 lots and associated operational works, lot 944 SP 14483-50 Philippo Close, Tolga, RAL 24/0024. So councillors, this item has been withdrawn by the applicant, so we don't need to deal with this one today. It's withdrawn from the agenda. So that brings us to item 11.2, TRC 2024-32, Prize Creek Development Stage 1, SPB Construction Management. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Bilney's moving, and a seconder. Councillor Spanos. Councillor Bilney.
Through the chair. Back in August of this year, Council did resolve to order separable portion B as per the executive summary. My understanding, part of those works requires specialist project management, and the officer's recommendation carries that recommendation. So for me, I support the officer's recommendation based on re-engaging with a contractor who's been involved with this project since its inception, offers several advantages such as having an in-depth knowledge of what's going on, and provides a project continuity. I think there's also a notable benefit in having that established relationship with that project manager, with all the stakeholders as well. So we're not trying to go back over old ground where and explaining the project, which would come at a cost. There would also, if we do a re-engagement, we'll avoid the need for onboarding of a new contractor, saving time and resources, and also the financial benefit. This recommended contractor was also the cheapest. So I support the officer's recommendation.
Thanks, Councillor Bilney. Councillors, anyone else like to talk to this one? Those in favour, the officer's recommendation? Carried. That's 7. 11.3, Capital Projects, October 2024. We have a mover of the officer's recommendation. Councillor Lang is moving, and Councillor Vardy is seconding. Councillor Lang?
No, I've got nothing to say.
Councillor Vardy? Councillors, would anyone like to talk to this one? Those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried. Thank you. 7. 11.4, adoption of LDMP V10 November 2024. We have a mover of the officer's recommendation, Councillor Lang, and Councillor Bilney. Councillor Lang.
No, I'm happy with that as well.
Thank you. Councillor Bilney.
Just through the chair, just a short comment. I agree with the recommendation. I think it's important to note that the management plan has been endorsed by the Tablelands Local Disaster Management Group, and they are the key stakeholders of this plan, so it carries my support as well.
Thank you. Councillor Cardew?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I won't be supporting this. I don't believe the plan goes far enough in providing assistance to those who need it at the time of an event. I think the plan's lacking in that regard. I think there's been plenty of occasions and history where people immediately following an event have needed direct assistance in one way or another, and it hasn't been forthcoming. And I think the plan should have addressed that in a much more adequate way than what it has. So I won't be supporting it.
Councillors? Those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried. 6-1, thanks, Chair. .5, adoption of exercise Inferno post-exercise report 2024. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Lang is moving. Councillor Spenos. Councillor Lang?
I actually participated in this exercise as an SES liaison, and I believe it was a very beneficial exercise for all those involved, staff and agencies. We're extremely fortunate to have someone like Sarah and her expertise on our team, and yeah, that's all I can say about her. She's fantastic.
Agreed. Thanks, Councillor Lang. Agreed too. Yeah. Final call, councillors. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. 7. 11.6, advisory committee minutes. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Barty. And a seconder, Councillor Bilney. Councillor Barty.
No, nothing happened. That's the recommendation.
Thank you. Councillors? Councillor Cardew?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just a comment, just mainly for the benefit of those watching, is that we spoke about this in the pre-agenda, and one of the things that we're going to amend in the next report that brings up these minutes of the advisory committees is to ensure that each one of the minutes is adopted separately. That's just for ease, just in case there's some issues within one of those minutes, it make it much easier to deal with.
Thanks, Councillor Cardew. Those in favour, councillors? That's carried. 7, thank you. Brings us to 12, infrastructure and planning services. 12.1, community project request, Malanda Kindergarten playground update. The mover of the officer's recommendation, Councillor Bilney, and a seconder, Councillor Lang. Councillor Bilney.
Through the chair. Look, for me, this is a fantastic initiative, project of the Malanda Kindy. Current playground is no longer fit for purpose. It does pose potential safety risks to the kids there. Wear and tear over many years, the equipment fails to meet the modern safety standards and is dangerous. So the project will provide a modern playground with early childhood development and learning a key outcome and benefit. I note that there will also be an inclusive, sorry, just hang on a sec. There'll be a inclusive design to ensure all children, regardless of ability, will be given the same opportunity to be engaged in what the playground offers. So I commend the Malanda Community Kindergarten for their efforts, which will also be fully funded, and I support the officer's recommendation. I would like to be there on the day when the kids return to school after New Year's and see the new shiny playground and be an absolutely awesome, smiles and fun. So yeah, I support.
Thanks very much, Councillor Bilney. councillors, anyone else like to talk to this one? Councillor
I
Lang?
ditto that. I think it's great that they've taken the initiative to go and get funding themselves and make this work. So it's a great commitment from them.
Very good. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. 7. 12.2, community project request, Tinaroo Sailing Club, amenities block upgrade. A mover, please. Councillor Barty, and seconded by Councillor Lang. Councillor Barty?
Nothing to say, I'm happy to take a recommendation, and yeah, the Tinaroo Sailing Club, we've been waiting for this for a while, so it's good to see it happening.
Councillors?
Again, fully funded by the community group themselves. I think it's just great to see these groups getting out there and doing things.
Agreed. Those in favour? Carried. 7. 12.3, TRC 2024-18 replacement multi-tyre roller. We have a mover of the officer's recommendation, Councillor Hayden, and Councillor Barty seconding. Councillor Hayden?
No, I'm fine. These upgrading. It's great to have our equipment up to date and working.
Very good. Councillor Barty?
I just have one question. So the recommendation is for that Caterpillar model. Were all of the 3 quotes on that same model? I mean, I know there's the option 2 one on that, but
Through the chair, so they're all, the scope of works is for a multi-tire roller and certain tonnage and everything.
Yeah.
The brand name necessarily
brand
is
name
not
isn't
the
the same.
same.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
specifications.
that's just.
So we've got a mover and seconder on 12.4. Those in favour? Sorry, 12.3 was it? Sorry, it was to Councillor Cardew, thank you. 12.3, mover and seconder, and we've got 7. I believe everyone supported that. And that brings us to 12.4 this time, TRC 2024-20 renewal compact track loaders. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Cardew is moving, and was that Councillor Lang that put her hand up? Yeah, Councillor Lang. Councillor Cardew.
Good, thanks, Mayor. Happy with the recommendation.
Final call. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. 12.5, removal of northwest beam Atherton Cemetery. Councillor Cardew is moving that, and Councillor Barty seconding. Councillor Cardew?
No, all good. Happy with the officer's recommendation. Just removing something that's not being used, so we can improve the drainage out there. All good.
Good. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. 12.6, TRC 2024-07, TRC DRFA 2023 Gully Betterment Program. We have a mover of the officer's recommendation, Councillor Cardew, and Councillor Bilney. Councillor Cardew.
No, happy with the officer's recommendation. The local contractor was successful. He's also the last tender, so all good.
Very good. Councillor Bilney.
Yeah, through the chair. My understanding is that we're going to be providing the additional funds from the capital budget, so it's just a realignment or replacement of existing funding, so there's no actual additional funds required. And I think if we've got the opportunity for betterment, we should be taking it, which we have. So I think it's a great opportunity. So I support.
Fantastic. Final call, councillors. Those in favour? Carried. That's 7. Thank you. 12.7, Weaver Street renaming, public consultation. Can we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Cardew and Councillor Lang, you had your hand up, did
I
you?
was fixing my glasses,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, sorry. Just caught that. So Councillor Spanos. Councillor Spanos, I'll pick it up. It's a bit like bidding at an auction.
Just sit on it.
All right, so we've got a mover and seconder. Councillor Spanos.
I'd like to just agree with the officer's recommendations on this. I think it will just create a little less difficulty with finding the whereabouts of people, to be honest with you, with emergency services finding people's locations. It is a bit, I'm not sure how it's lasted this long, to be honest with you. I think it's something that should have possibly been dealt with earlier. However, we're dealing with it now, and that's all I can say about that. But I think the officer's recommendations are what we need.
Yeah, sorry, Councillor Cardew, you moved that one. Did you want to talk to that?
Just to say I agree, it's been a dog's breakfast for a long time, and this is going to tidy it up and make it a lot clearer for people who need to find these addresses, especially the emergency services people. So yeah, no, fully support it.
Final call, councillors. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. 7. 12.8, Hall Road and Casino Road rural addressing changes, public consultation outcome. We have a mover of the officer's recommendation. Councillor Barty and Councillor Cardew seconding. Councillor Barty.
No questions. Happy to take the recommendation.
Councillors? Those in favour? Carried, thank you. That's 7. Item 13, Community and Corporate Services. 13.1, Financial Report, October 2024. We have a mover of the officer's recommendation, Councillor Lang, and Councillor Bilney seconding. Councillor Lang?
I think it all looks pretty good. We're sitting on par where we should be, so I'm happy with that.
Very good, thank you. Councillors? Those in favour? Carried, that's 7, thank you. 13.2, Final Audit Report 2023-2024. A mover, please. Councillor Barty moving and Councillor Bilney seconding. Councillor Barty?
This is the first time I've seen this report, so it was really interesting to see like some of those issues that did come to light, and I'd just like to ask, is that what you sort of expected to see from a report like this? Or
Yes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
each year we go through audits, there's
Yeah.
generally something that's found, which is an
Yeah.
opportunity for us to make some improvements.
Yeah.
All of this detail is listed on our activity. You've got to register to make sure that we action all of these things, which we progressively work throughout the year.
Great. Do we get feedback when those items are actioned? Because I'd
Absolutely.
like to.
Yep,
know
so
that.
you'll even note in some of these reports that there's items that have been closed and reinvestigated. So this is the avenue where the auditors actually identify that.
Yeah.
But we also talk about those type of topics at the audit committee as well, which is then presented back to this forum.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Councillors, any more questions on the audit report? Those in favour? Carried, thank you, that's 7. 13.3, adoption of the annual report 2023-2024. Can we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Lang. Councillor Spanos. Councillor Lang.
I'm quite happy with the report in general. I am very concerned though about the number of staff departures we have. I think we need to do something to fix that. We want to be a place people want to work, not just come because they have a job. So I think we need to work on that for sure.
Thank you. Councillors, any more questions on this one? Those in favour? Carried, thank you. That brings us to item 14. There are no notices of motions, no notice of motions today. Item 15, business without notice. So councillors, this business without notice here relates to the Atherton Aerodrome in particular. So a couple of weeks ago, Councillor Lang, Councillor Spanos, Councillor Barty, Councillor Lang wasn't there, Councillor Spanos, Councillor Lang, Councillor Barty and Councillor Bilney and myself attended a meeting with the Atherton Aerodrome Users Group. They're particularly focused on trying to expand the aerodrome in terms of installing new hangars. There's some concept plans that have been drawn up for some time that have six smaller hangars, which I believe have been surveyed, but the user group would like them to be shifted a little bit further to the west. And there are 3 large hangars that are provided for that haven't been surveyed at all. So what this business without notice is proposing is that council start the engagement with the aerodrome users group as well as the other stakeholders, so we get that engagement consultation underway, so that we can once we've got money allocated in the budget, we can get on and develop those new lots so the aerodrome can expand. It's our understanding, and we believe there are a number of at least 2 or 3 people who've been keen to buy new hangar spaces for a while, but because the surveys haven't been done and because the ones that have been done aren't in the right spot, that's been held up. So what the business without notice proposes here is that we give some direction to council officers to get the ball rolling, so that we can progress the development of the Atherton Aerodrome. There's also provision in there to do some preliminary work for the negotiation of a lease at Wandekla as well, at the Wandekla Aerodrome, that is. So yeah, can we have a, I'm happy to move that. I'm happy to move that business without notice, councillors. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Bilney. Anyone like to talk to that, councillors?
The
Yeah, councillor Cardew.
dot point 3, does that read correctly? It doesn't make a lot of sense. It included development of a new hangar, then it says for council deliberation, included development for a new hangar in what?
It reads okay to me.
What were you saying, Ken?
No, it's okay. If I'm just happy with, I just sort of didn't read very well, but I'm happy enough. Everyone else reading as well.
Any questions, councillors?
Resurvey those lots out there, and that's part of the development of the new hangars and leases, so. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, we have a mover and seconder. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. Any more business without notice? Okay, councillors, that brings us to item 16, which is our confidential items. So can we have a mover and a seconder to go into confidential, please? Councillor Barty is moving and Councillor Bilney is seconding. Those in favour? 7. Thank you, carried. Okay, councillors, we'll go to item 16.1, Milla sewerage charges. Can we have a mover? Councillor Bilney. Councillor Bilney, you're moving an alternative, are you?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Councillor Bilney's moving an alternative. Could we have a seconder to Councillor Bilney's alternative motion? Councillor Barty. Councillor Bilney.
Yeah, through the chair. Look, I'd like to move an alternate motion, and it will read that council, in the first instance, apply a concession to the second 24-25 sewerage utility charge applied to the connected properties within the Milla declared sewerage service area to amend the charges to 50% of those included in the table below. There is a table stipulated with the property numbers, percentage of use and the annual charge. And the second point, consider to applying this charging methodology in future financial years with the charges to being increased in accordance with CPI every year.
Thanks very much, Councillor Bilney. So we've got a mover and a seconder. Those in favour? That's carried. That's 7. Item 16.2, grant of new trustee sublease over lot 517 on NR 4116. So do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Cardew is moving and Councillor Barty is seconding. I'll just read that out. That council resolves to apply the exemption under section 236(1)(c)(3) of the Local Government Regulation 2012 to dispose of valuable non-current asset other than by tender or auction to the existing tenant of the land. 2. Enter into a new trustee sublease over lot 517 on NR 4116 in favour of the current sub-leasees, and delegate the power to the Chief Executive Officer under S 2571B of the Local Government Act 2009 to negotiate and finalise the trustee sublease and do all things and sign all documents to give effect to this resolution. So we have a mover and a seconder of that motion. Those in favour? Carried. That's 7. Item 16.3, commercial licence for EV charging station. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Barty, and a seconder, Councillor Spanos. Those in favour? Carried. That's 6-1. Thanks, Jackie. So that brings us to item 16.4, Technology 1, 7-year contract variation. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Barty is moving. Councillor Hayden seconding. Those in favour? Sorry, councillors, I'll just read that resolution. So can you just scroll down a bit, Jackie? Yeah. That council 1, support the officer's recommendation to enter into a 7-year SAAS contract variation with Technology 1 based on the quoted prices as per attachment A. delegate the authority to the Chief Executive Officer in accordance with the Local Government Act 2009 to negotiate, finalise and execute all matters associated with this arrangement, including variation to the contract within the constraints of Council's endorsed operational budget. Thanks very much. I didn't read 16.3. Can I read that now? So we've completed 16.4. So we'll just go back to 16.3.
Mr Mayor, also you didn't give anybody the opportunity to speak to that motion either.
We can't.
Because it's.
No?
You
You
can't.
can't comment on it.
Can't.
If I'm voting against it, do I not give a reason?
No. So councillors, yeah, I missed out reading the motion for 16.3, commercial licence for EV charging station. That council enter into a commercial licence agreement for a period of not more than 5 years, with an option for an additional 5 years with NRMA for the installation, operation and maintenance of an electric vehicle charging station in Atherton, grant an exemption to the requirements under TRC's land use and tenure, that should be policy, should it? Policy, and permit a peppercorn licence fee be payable to the applicant under the commercial licence. Be payable by the applicant, I should say, under the commercial licence. Delegate power to the Chief Executive Officer under section 2571B of the Local Government Act 2009 to enter into negotiations and finalise a commercial licence agreement with the applicant and do all things and sign all documents to give effect to this resolution. 4. In anticipation of increased demand for electric vehicle charging stations within the TRC local government area, develop a formal policy position regarding EV charging facilities. So yeah, that was the motion that we adopted for 16.3. There being no further business, we'll close the meeting. Our next meeting is the 19th of December. Meeting Friday.